After 2 very constructive and fruitful days of discussions, we have come to the end of the 21st high-level meeting of the Coordination and Cooperation Mechanism on Drugs between the Celac and the EU. It is a great pleasure for me to be here in the company of high-level representatives of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States and the European Union and its member states, along with the other relevant stakeholders involved. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the Celac co-presidency for putting all the efforts to organize this meeting and for their warm hospitality. Secondly, I would like to give special thanks to the representatives of COPOLAD Cooperation Program for organizing their annual bi-regional conference back-to-back with our high-level meeting and for facilitating the technical committee informal working sessions, which have contributed to the successful outcome adopted today by consensus.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to address you today at the closing of the 21st high-level meeting of the EU Celac Coordination and Cooperation Mechanism on Drugs. At this meeting, and as this meeting is coming to an end, I hope that you had the time to explore, like we say, the greenest treasure that we have, the greenest country in the world, and at the same time had constructive deliberations. One of the pillars of Suriname's foreign policy is to cooperate and develop strong partnerships at bilateral, regional, and international levels in order to advance peace and security. Our participation in Celac is therefore an expression of my country's strong focus on regional integration and the need to contribute to the maintenance of our region as a zone of peace. In this regard, it is important to focus on what binds us and not what divides us. Similarly mentioned yesterday by the representative of the Celac pro tempore chair, it is against the aforementioned that Suriname has opted and has been adamant to chair and to co-chair, in this case, the EU Celac Coordination and Cooperation Mechanism on Drugs for 2 consecutive years. Thus, the hosting of this year's high-level meeting in Paramaribo is not only a strong signal of Suriname's willingness to play a notable role in responding to the immense drugs problem, but also a call to all partners present here to ensure mutual commitment to cooperate as we continue to improve this mechanism. We have the ambition to be the voice within this mechanism that favors a comprehensive approach to addressing the numerous issues around the drugs problem, while working on the containment of illegal drugs and the associated crimes. We should be shifting our focus on the possibility of growing, producing, and exporting medicinal drug types, highly convinced that the development of medicinal drugs offers opportunities for small countries such as Suriname. Since this yearly meeting has become one of the most important annual gatherings in the EU Celac sphere for experts and countries to discuss the several policies and views between the regions on combating international drug crime and to increase the effectiveness of regional and international cooperation in this regard, it is of high importance to refer to the slogan of this gathering, namely, towards a sustainable approach, which marks the vision of our repositioning strategy with regard to the world drug problem and emphasis on the safety, health, and foremost, the well-being of our citizens. In this regard, we welcome the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, and effectively addressing the immense global drug problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I learned that your hard work came to fruition in the outcome document that puts emphasis on commitments set out in curbing the world drug problem and taken by consensus. And that you have shared views, experiences, challenges, and opportunities pertaining to the thematic debates on drug supply and demand reduction. Noteworthy is the emphasis that most of you put on sustainability that will lead both of our regions in the coming years in the implementation of our approaches towards the world's drug problem. We come to the understanding that we cannot formulate a concrete answer for the global problem. However, you showed commitment not to become weary in finding solutions for curbing this problem. Suriname commits to put in its share by strengthening our responses to this constantly changing drug problem that is also impacting the development of our nation, including our economic and social agenda. Our responses to especially drug trafficking, therefore, will be equally innovative, equally quick to adapt to changing circumstances, and equally global in our outlook. At present, the revised National Drug Master Plan 2019-2024, which is being finalized by the National Drugs Authority of Suriname, is an expression of our strong political will and commitment, and the strategy will focus on safety and security, health, and human rights. This reflects Suriname's vision of raising the drugs problem to a top priority, and thereby to the level of national security. The implementation, therefore, will consist of a sustainable, balanced, and integral approach, while special emphasis will be placed on capacity building, awareness, and tightening of the necessary infrastructure. This plan enables us furthermore to tackle the complexity of the immense global problems related to drugs, as clearly illustrated in the UNODC 2018 Drugs Report, in order to cope with the challenges which Suriname endures due to its extensive borders. Further targeted actions will be implemented at bilateral, bi-regional, and especially multilateral levels. In general, we have to return to the multilateral system in dealing with cross-border issues of crime and violence and seek to a renewed commitment from the world. In this context, it is of pivotal importance to highlight some actions and reaffirm our will to continue to cooperate in the fight against illegal drugs, taking into account the areas such as the cocaine route program, the container scan program, creation of a national observatory to improve infrastructure in relation to reliable, accurate, and evidence-based data, with the aim to develop effective policies and programs in a sound manner. Furthermore, the strengthening of our financial institutions as a countermeasure with regard to money laundering and the upgrade of our border management system. Ladies and gentlemen, with your participation here today in this 21st high-level meeting of EU Celac, our political will for continued coordination and cooperation on drugs policies which took place during these thematic debates on drug supply and demand reduction the past 2 days was evident. It also puts our both regions in a better position to reflect and determine further engagement. Thus, we have the pleasure to sign off a new outcome document in Paramaribo, as it will be a new concept to further develop the idea of a new outcome document, of this high-level meeting, as it reaffirms the commitment of both regions to effectively address this immense world drug problem in full conformity with the purposes and principles of the Charter of the UN, international law, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. May I congratulate you each with the work you have done this last year, which you finished in 2 days here in Suriname. As we all know, the hard work has been done in your technical meetings in Brussels, with the input of the experts in our different capitals. I congratulate you all with the successful meetings and thanking you for your participation. As you are getting ready to travel back home, I wish you a safe journey. In closing, I urge every one of us to keep on holding the vision that only with joint and combined efforts, we will be able to find answers to the world drug problem. We will jointly encourage the betterment of our citizens, especially our young people and women. Thank you.